Hey guys, Sean here, and welcome to what I still can't believe I'm saying, the F1 Words 30k Q&A special. There is only one place to start, and that is with that. Thank you all so much. I keep saying it sounds hollow, but it really does. I keep saying it because we get to these milestones so quickly at the moment. It all sounds a little bit hollow, but I promise you it is not. It is so massively appreciated. How is everyone in chat? You all look ready for a nice chilled stream tonight. Nothing really structured. Essentially, I'm making the error of putting you guys in charge. You ask the questions. I'd imagine we'll get asked about Verstappen at some point, so we'll make sure we answer that one. But yeah, we're just going to answer your questions tonight. I am joined, of course, as I have been since, I think, the second stream I ever did, by the one and only Jonty. Good evening, Jonty.
Good evening, Sean, and everyone. Are we good?
I am...
Are you surprised?
Yeah, shocked. Absolutely stunned by it, really. We've come a long way, mate, haven't we? We really have.
Yeah, it's just keeps getting... Still can't understand it every time.
It's crazy. It shouldn't surprise us, but it does. But yeah, I'm not going to get all soppy in that, but I will say live to everybody, a huge thank you to Jonty. You guys have no idea how much he puts up with from me, but I have to say something very strange happened today. I don't know if you noticed, Jonty, we haven't spoken today.
No, I know. That was odd.
It's quite weird. I thought you'd fallen out with me. Also joining us tonight is a guy who's been on many a stream and has been here for quite a while, probably sick to death of us all by now. Hello, Chaz.
Thanks for that, Sean, and congratulations on 30k.
Thank you very much, mate. Just questions tonight, so nothing overly stressful, I wouldn't have thought, but I'd imagine, yeah. Couple of bits of news starting to come out today about Miami's vote tomorrow. I think there's talk they want to get rid of these grid penalties as well, Jonty, thank God. Although it doesn't sound like they're going to get rid of them altogether. Something about a pool of gearboxes or something, so... yeah, a few tasty bits starting to happen, all this 2021 talk, and obviously that deadline looms large for Red Bull and Honda. It's all going to get interesting this next few weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest one. The whole... That's it. Dates on the table. You've got... What is it? 4 weeks from now? 3.5?
Yeah, it's not long, is it? 15th, I think. No, that's less, isn't it? Is it 31st?
Yeah.
Okay, a bit more time.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. The grid penalties, I don't understand that one, because what's going to happen? If people do things that usually require a penalty, they're just going to say, nah, you're all right.
Yeah, don't worry about it, mate. It's okay. I think they're talking about basically ditching the current gearbox system and going to an engine, a similar one to the engines, where they get 3 gearboxes for the year. They can use them when they want, interchange them and all that. So, but I don't really think that makes much difference, to be honest, because at the end of the day, the gearbox is still going to fail, aren't they? So, yeah, I don't know. But at least they're trying something, Chaz, I guess.
Yeah, they need to try and fix the penalty system, but they're just making it more confusing. At least that's what it sounds like to me.
I'm going to whack the chat on screen because for me, because it's usually to the side when we're talking. But we're going to kick off with a question from Starbuck89 who says, is there a chance that Kimi will stay at Ferrari in 2019? I have to say, if he continues driving the way he is, guys, as he says, guys, for some reason for the first time in ages, it'd be hard pushed to see Ferrari not keep him on. He's been pretty good this start to the season.
If he continues the way he's gone so far and he wants to stay for another year, then I'd say keep him, because he's pushing Vettel very hard, especially in qualifying. So why not keep him as long as he wants to stay around?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of wrote him off in the winter, didn't we, Jonty, to be honest? And he's come out and really certainly proven us wrong and a lot of people wrong.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, we did write him off. We were quite harsh about him last year. But we did say over the winter, we really hope that he just comes out all guns blazing. That this is my last year. I'm going to make my mark. And he certainly has. So that could mean that he doesn't go anywhere. Why would you if you're winning?
I mean, to be honest, if we've got the Kimi back that we all know and love, as well as the meme Kimi, I'd be happy for him to stay on.
Best of both.
Yeah, I mean, from a Ferrari perspective, Leclerc's not ready yet and probably won't be this season. So why not? Keeps Vettel happy as well. So it's best of both worlds, isn't it? And he's got a chance to really prove us wrong big time. I mean, I don't think he'll be in a championship fight or anything like that. But somebody has just asked. It is Mr. Tickle. I'll leave that with you. Under what circumstances could Kimi win a race this year? And he could do with a little bit of, let's say, strategy luck. Without we don't get too, controversial in this one, but I'm sure he will at some point. But he needs a bit more luck with the strategy, doesn't he, Jonty, if he's going to be competing for the wins?
Yeah, maybe if Vettel has a gearbox or a penalty of some description, that could help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think most likely it'll be something like, say, Ferrari, say in Monaco, if Ferrari like they were last year, and it's a 1-2, but this time it's Vettel ahead, and then Vettel has I don't know, his engine blows up, and then Raikkonen takes the lead, something like that, because even if Vettel takes a gearbox penalty, what will happen? Vettel will probably fly through the field, get behind Kimi, and then Kimi will have to let him through. So he needs Vettel to have some kind of problem that drops him down the field and doesn't allow Vettel to come back through the field to get past Kimi.
Yeah, absolutely. Had a contribution from vlogging at Charlie. Thank you very much for that, mate. I think you were telling me that in the comments yesterday that you were planning on doing that. And he's just asked, could Jesus drive an F1 car? I'm assuming you mean Jesus rather than the Man City striker, but which is Jesus. But anyway, probably. I don't really know how to answer that one.
Of course he could. It'd be great. It'd be really, really good in the wet. There'd be no standing water and aquaplaning issues for Jesus.
Oh my god! How long? 7 minutes. 7 minutes. Yeah. I did see another comment, which actually is from Poggy Bear, who says, "How did you first meet Jonty and Chaz?" I've not met either in person yet. I'm meeting Jonty at the end of the month, unless he suddenly realises he doesn't want to and runs away. Chaz messaged me when I hit 1K 6 months ago, congratulating me, and that's when we started talking. And Jonty, I think you just commented on a video, didn't you? And then ended up joining Discord, and then that was it.
I sent you a message on Facebook when you were asking for input.
Ah, yes, you did. Yes, that famous video.
I was making stuff related to F1, so I had a bit of behind-the-scenes knowledge.
Yeah, of course, yeah, because we did the 2021 engine stream, didn't we? Was the first one you were on, and we were talking about powder bottles and all that sort of stuff. Oh, that takes me back.
It was ages ago.
That was only November. Although it is, yeah. Oh God, Christmas is coming around quick. Let's not even get into that one. Victor or Victor Philo says, any of you going to Silverstone in July? I am going to Silverstone in July. I think ST's going, one of the mods. I don't know I seem to think Luke says he's going. He'll let us know. Eru's going as well, so I am. I don't think you are you, Chaz?
No, I can't. It's too much money.
Yeah, same here, unfortunately.
Jacob Smith wants to know our thoughts on McLaren B-Spec car this weekend. Kind of need this to work, don't they, Jonty?
Yeah, but they have. There has been articles and reports today saying that they're doing it as a full-on reveal, as if it's sort of completely different to what the car's been currently. So, no idea what they're trying to push with that.
Well, that puts a bit more pressure on, doesn't it? If they, because we were talking actually last night, quite late actually, weren't we, Chaz, about the McLaren B-Spec car, and we both kind of agree that they've got to get this right if they want to convince Alonso to do another year.
If this car does not perform around the next two tracks, which is probably going to be McLaren's best two races of the season, then Alonso will not stay. There's no way he'll stay, and it's kind of weird with a B-Spec car, because this used to be a thing in the early 2000s, which was more common. I remember Ferrari doing it quite a lot. I think they did it in 2003 at the same track. They brought the actual 2003 car there, and then they did the first four races of that season before with the 2002 car. So yeah, it has to work. If it doesn't, then they're basically in a similar predicament to what they were last year, except the power unit they have this year is more reliable.
Yeah, I mean, fair point. It's funny you talk about the early 2000s going all the way back then, John. See, it was quite common for the top teams to turn up with last year's car with a few updates, wasn't it? And then bring a second car later in the year.
Well, you just have to look at 2000 or 2001. I can't remember which one when Ferrari did it, because their new car wasn't ready. And everyone panicked because in their old car they took pole position one race.
I can remember that. Yeah, there was a lot of worry, wasn't there? And they did. I think they blew everybody away, didn't they? Certainly 2002 and 2004 they did. Vlogging at Charlie's made another contribution. Would a memorial race at Imola be a good idea? That word again was memorial. I don't know how that came out wrong. I think I'd be up for that if it was like the Monaco Classics, as an example, sort of the older cars, a non-championship event. Just, yeah, would be... I can't see F1 going back there as much as I'd love them to. Yeah, I don't know what you guys think about that.
Go on.
Yeah, I think it'd be nice. But as long as they remembered everyone. If it would be at all possible, just do a parade, have some historic races, but have a parade with either the same or a replica of the car of everyone who's died on track.
That would be a good idea.
Tour around, and then they all stop at Tamburello and do a big rev off.
What about you, Charles? Do you think that's I think you kind of covered it there, Jonty, to be honest.
Yeah, just bring, cars that have raced there before, famous cars that have won there before, like the MP44, some Williams cars, just, have some fun with it.
Reed Price says, if Danny Rick doesn't go to Ferrari, where will he be in 2019? If you listen to Mercedes, it won't be them, because they're saying that they prefer to, I was going to say, keep it in the family. I don't know what they get up to. But yeah, pretty much they'd like to pick from their own pool of drivers. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him stay at Red Bull if his option is be not second driver to Verstappen, but the team being built around them, or go to Ferrari and be second driver to Vettel. It's not really... He'd probably get more chance of being allowed to race at Red Bull, I feel.
I think... I did a video on this on Monday. I think he'll stay at Red Bull because Ferrari, even though at the moment and probably next year they're going to have the fastest car, considering how they've grown over the last few years, he will not be allowed to beat Vettel. Vettel will not allow him to be to have equal status. It will be Vettel number one, and I don't think Ricciardo will accept that. And at Mercedes, I do think it can work, but the only thing he needs for that is Bottas to perform poorly, and for Mercedes to actually look at Ricciardo instead of looking at Ocon or Russell or Verline. So honestly, right now, considering what Bottas is performing like, I would say he's going to stay at Red Bull and sign a 2-year contract.
Yeah, fair points. Try to pick a few questions out. I just saw one from Total Gamer TB21 says, how hard is it? How hard is your lack of bias to keep up in your videos? There we go. That's what he was trying to say. Yeah. Well, that's exactly what he said. I'm going to be honest. I was talking about this to somebody else the other day on chat, and I was a hardcore Schumacher fan growing up. That was my driver. I was the most biased towards him I could ever be. But once he retired, I never latched on to another driver like that. So it's quite easy to keep up being unbiased because I don't really have an outright favourite driver. So that makes it a lot easier. Does that make sense? I think you sort of have a favourite, don't you? A bit like a football team in many ways. I have a favourite driver for so long, but I just never really took to another one.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. And right now, I will admit this. I'm not, ashamed to admit this. I am a bit of a Ferrari fan, but I'm not like a fanboy, if you know what I mean. I'm not trusting in absolutely everything they do. I do want to see them do well, but I will criticize when they are not performing to standard.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, you have to excuse me. I just tried to breathe my tea instead of drinking it.
It's not the smartest idea, mate.
I don't find it hard to keep unbiased. I mean, I've got my preferred drivers and teams, but I don't know if it comes from being an engineer solving problems all day, but I tend to just look at what has happened and then draw a conclusion on it. I find it quite easy to remove any subjectiveness.
Yeah, very good point. It's a good way around it. And to be honest, there are a lot of channels out there on YouTube and a lot of people that have got behind drivers and are quite open about their, not fanboyism, but their favourite drivers, if you like. And if I had one, I'd say. And I think people know, because I've said it in videos before and I've had comments sort of saying they've noticed it. If I am being biased about anything, I will say. So, but I don't think I ever really am. To be honest, trying to think, I don't really. But there you go. Your opinion about the Vietnam F1 Grand Prix rumour a while ago from Yuleholic24. It wouldn't be a bad place to go. It'd be it'd be different in terms of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Aesthetic.
That's the one. Yeah, I'd quite like it, and I think it'd be interesting as well for some because, try not to go too controversial, to a lot of people in the world, I think they said it on Top Gear, that's probably where we get this line from, Vietnam is still a war and not a country, isn't it, Jonty? To a lot of people in the world.
Yeah, which is a bit unfortunate. It's how a lot of people see it. And I've actually got a friend who's been backpacking all around there. He started off in Indonesia and he's moved his way up. He's got as far as Laos now. And he's saying it's a fantastic place. Everyone's super happy, even though they haven't got much. So to bring something like that to them, the sort of the fan turnout they would get, as long as the pricing and accessibility was reasonable, it would be huge.
Just have a look at the I think we've got Hayley in the comments in the chat. I waved. She can't see me. But yeah, I think ST's just popped a link to her comic in the chat. Do go check it out. It is awesome, isn't it, Johnny? She is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Not just in terms of her artistic ways, just as a person, she's ace, quite frankly.
Yeah, another one, fan of Eurovision. That's going to be a lot of fun on Saturday, drinking along to that one.
Yeah. Did you watch the semi-final, or are you one of those that isn't quite as sad as me and Hayley?
Oh, no. I wait for the final. That's the fun.
Yeah, true. We'll be bored of the songs by the time we get there. Racing in Dubai says vlogging at Charlie, who's made another contribution. Thank you very much again, mate. Nah, not for me. I could see which it would just be. Yeah, it would just be Abu Dhabi 2.0, wouldn't it? In terms of circuit.
Yeah, I don't want another race in Dubai because it's just that part of the world. If they build a racetrack, it's just going to be so flat in terms of the racetrack and how it's designed.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see sort of just a publicity presentation event, sending them going around the Palm Jumeirah. That would look cool. But I don't think it's set up for a race. Because
No.
unless you're going around one of the man-made islands, which are all really crazy, the city itself is dead straight streets.
I've embarrassed Hayley. Sorry, Hayley. Do Ferrari have the fastest car now, or will it come clear who has the fastest car this weekend? Asks Oliver. They do at this point, I think. That's fair to say. But I don't know. I don't know, John T. Maybe it's my old moany head. I've been told that I complain too much in comments lately. So, but I kind of, when it comes to all these updates we get in Spain every year, I tend to find that with the top teams, they sort of cancel each other out and we end up pretty much where we were before they put the upgrades on. It's only really in the midfield that we see the big gains.
You do see a lot of gains in the midfield, but this year, for some reason, I think we've got a good chance of seeing Ferrari jump a little bit more ahead.
So you think they're going to increase the gap?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, this is the track for it. This is this is the first real aero test.
Yeah, I think everyone's pretty much waiting for the McLaren ones, aren't they, Chaz? I think that's where everybody's watching at the moment. Have we lost Chaz? Chaz?
No.
He's there. Yeah, yeah, we can, mate.
It's been freezing up, and it's going a bit weird.
Oh well. You're back now.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
What was it about Ferrari have the fastest car?
Yeah, and the updates coming this weekend. I was just saying, I think a lot of the focus is actually on McLaren this weekend.
I don't think Ferrari will pull away massively in terms of upgrades. I think this race and the next one in Monaco, it'll look like they pulled away more because of the type of track and conditions, which will suit Ferrari more than Mercedes. And I think Red Bull are the team you need to look for out of the top three in terms of upgrades, because normally, as the season wears on, they are the ones that progress the most out of those top three. And I think the reason you see more teams jumping up and down in the midfield is because it's a lot closer. Let's be honest, it's a lot closer than the top three.
Rapide says 10k subs, Sean face reveal, 30k subs, Sean's apartment reveal. First of all, it's a house. It's the first thing. But secondly, if I do that, I've got to clean. Maybe. I'll think about it, but I'd need to find out where the Hoover is first. I joke. I do clean. I'm not that bad.
You can do an episode of Cribs.
It's just a really terrible version, just 90s everything. If you could work for Liberty or a team, what role would you want to take, says Victor Philo.
I would want to be the strategist.
If it's any role anywhere, I would love to be Kimi Räikkönen's race engineer. I just love it.
You have nothing to do.
Exactly.
And he says, "Shut up."
I get paid an absolute fortune for doing nothing. And I'm an English speaker, and he likes that, doesn't he? He likes good fluent English. Well, I say fluent English, but yeah, I don't mind that.
Yeah, I'd just be sat in the factory, welding things.
Isn't Red Bull also bringing updates to Spain, asks Mark. Yeah, they are doing. I think I can't, as far as I'm aware, every team have got something.
Yeah, the only one, Force India aren't bringing as much as they would like.
Soccer Legend says, what is your favourite football team? My favourite football team. This is where I lose everybody. Grimsby, no, it's not really. Manchester United, but I live in Lincoln, so I follow Lincoln City as well. The local team.
I support Chelsea.
Boo.
I stopped really following football 24 years ago, so I can't really say. If anything, probably Everton, because that's where my family hails from.
Ooh, H Cadet 30. If you could make a 5-track winter series for F1, what tracks would you choose? That is a very good question.
Winter series? Well, that's tricky because you're really limited on the weather, the seasonal aspect.
It might be an excuse to go to Scandinavia because it's cold there anyway, I guess. ST will tell me off because they get like 6 degrees or something and thinks that's hot.
Well, it should be down south, so get Adelaide back.
South Africa, yeah. Brazil, can still go to Brazil. Oh, hang on, this calendar's getting tasty.
What's that? What was that track in the late 80s? Rio.
Yeah, Argentina.
Yeah.
Definitely Kyalami. Definitely Adelaide. I'd still go Sao Paulo because I love that track.
Well, we've got both of the ones there. You've got Interlagos and Alto Dromones Piquet.
Yeah, back to back. You see, that's the back to back sorted.
You got to walk from one track to the other.
Yeah.
They can have a mid-race race.
And I think I'd end in Abu Dhabi. No. I don't know where we'd end it. A fifth one. I didn't like the track at Buenos Aires, to be honest.
It could be Sochi.
Buenos
Certainly
Aires it
could
is
be
then.
worse.
Is there a good track in Africa? Says Stop Hammer Times Table. Just Kailami, South Africa, isn't there?
No, there's a good street track around Marrakesh.
Racing. Malaysia, Sepang. That's got to be on that 5 list. It's got to be.
That track
Yeah.
should be on the calendar. There's no reason for it to not be on the calendar. It's such a good track. It's not easy, but it's not too hard to try and overtake there compared to other racetracks.
A few saying Estoril in the comments.
Yeah. Bathurst. Oh, if that would be amazing, but it could never happen.
I'd let Mexico on if we got the old Peraltada back. That would be the only. It's never going to happen. Poggy Bear, who are the other F1 YouTubers you like to watch? Well, obviously, John T and Chaz. Obviously. Alex Safro, who's helped, not just because he helps out on the channel, because I just think he's massively underrated. We talk about it quite often on Discord.
Yeah, he does a lot of history stuff I like.
Yeah. Definitely go check him out. Of course, yeah, Chamber, who I keep bugging to try and get on a live stream, but he's not biting unless certain terms are met that I don't think are ever going to be met. But that's all up to John T. He's sorting that out for me.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ryan, L83 live streams. I quite like watching him live stream because there are no flashbacks in the gaming and stuff like that because you're watching it live. So it's a bit more double jeopardy. So yeah, I don't really watch a lot of F1 YouTubers.
Yeah, same here. There's a lot of other sort of sciencey, engineering stuff that I watch. Joe Scott, Real Engineering, AVE, Alex Steele.
We
need to get all these people to know that we've mentioned them so that they can mention us.
Yeah, definitely. Just try to think who. I watch a guy called Ranger Dave, who used to be Evil Viking 13, who does a lot of Fallout videos because I'm obsessed with Fallout. I watch obviously Chesnoid for his FIFA. Southampton career is pretty awesome.
Oh, there's one F1 channel, F1 Reviews. He just hit 1K about 2-3 weeks ago. That's one.
Yeah, we mentioned Chamber. Just somebody in comments asking there. Mark Priestley, yeah, I'll keep an eye on him.
Non-F1 YouTube. Oh, Mike Boyd.
Who?
Mike Boyd. This week I learned. They're brilliant. Oh, and yeah, and Rayson watches the Mighty Jingles. I've been watching him since he had about 20 subscribers.
I will go and check some of those out, definitely. Hope you like the Nuka Break series if you like Fallout. I'll be honest, never heard of it, but I will go check that out after this. Luke, no.
Yeah, just no.
Soccer Legend says F1 Reviews is the worst channel. Just look at his predictions. Have you seen mine? I was so happy last week that I got Leclerc right.
Yeah,
that was it.
I put Alonso on pole for Australia.
He did, yeah.
I remember, yeah.
Hamilton's retiring at the end of the year, and Leclerc's going to get 10 points finishes, so we're pretty terrible.
Yeah. David Fitzgerald just said into the barrier. I don't know, I forgot that.
Oh, of course, yeah. I'm not doing it.
First one I watched.
I think Chaz is definitely having mic issues, I think.
Oh, yeah. My mic's not coming through.
Yeah, I didn't hear you on that one, mate.
It might be connection.
I was saying that Into the Barrier is the first F1 YouTuber I've watched.
Yeah, he's so funny. If you haven't watched the one where he's making dinner,
Oh, that is it was one of his
Making a-
specials, wasn't it?
yeah, that was hysterical. I think it was
Brilliant.
50k.
Drinking his Ribena. Victor Philo, is there some kind of beef with WTF1 I don't know about? No, not that I know of. I mean, I'm pretty confident they don't even know we exist. So, if there was, I'd be kind of flattered, to be honest. But there really isn't. 30k Shuey, no. If you smelt my feet, there's no way you'd ever ask me to do that. Let's try and get back to some F1 related questions before we start talking about my feet.
You can hear me now, can't you?
Yeah, I can, Chaz, yeah.
Yeah. My internet is having a moment. Let's just leave it at that.
What midfield team could you see getting a win? Do we class McLaren as midfield? Renault as well, definitely. I think they've got a shot if Hulkenberg can keep it out of the wall and get a bit of luck. Obviously, Sainz as well, but yeah, I think they've got a shot at a win. Maybe another crazy race or something.
Yeah, Renault have definitely got the pace to do it at the moment. I suppose you should class McLaren as midfield, but it's a bit unfair on the rest of the midfield.
Yeah, I'd say Renault right now are more likely to get even a podium than any other team. I know Force India, of course, have got a podium, but there were circumstances which helped that. I'm talking genuine pace.
Victor Ernst says at 100k though, so yeah, I'll do a shoe at 100k. That's ages off yet, so I said that about 10k though.
Topic, when do you predict Nico Hulkenberg will get his first podium and where? I think there's a good chance he could get it in Monaco.
He should have got it in Baku, shouldn't he?
Well, yeah.
Could have rather than should have. Been pulled up on that as well in comments, so could have got it in Baku. But yeah, it'll be in Monaco, won't it? It's going to be somewhere like that, I think, where power's not everything.
Yeah, and where it's likely to be crazy.
Maybe if it's wet at Silverstone, like a full wet race or something like that.
Yeah, or Singapore.
Yeah.
Magath88, what is the name of the legend who won the 2012 Spanish Grand Prix? I don't think a legend won.
Crash Tour Wall Retardo.
Oh my god!
You just had to get that in somewhere, didn't you?
Yeah, I made that name up, and I love it. Oh, Ryan's shown up.
Oh, hello, Ryan. We were talking about him a minute ago, and he's snuck in now, so he's missed that. You see, that's 2 shout outs in one stream. That's terrible. The Maldonator, yeah. I still can't believe he's in WEC, says said head to. I still can't believe he's racing, quite frankly.
Yeah, they're safer in WEC. They've got roofs.
Yeah, true. Do you think Red Bull will be the fastest team in Spain and Monaco? Asks Soccer Legend. I don't know what you guys think.
I think in Spain, probably second fastest, but in Monaco, it's going to be very close between them and Ferrari.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Do you think they're in the title hunt this year, Jonty? Because me and Chaz were talking last night, and I can't help but feel with what happened in Baku, it could be a long way back in the Drivers' Championship for them. Both of them.
Well, still only 4 in. There's plenty of chance for that to happen to Mercedes or Ferrari.
Yeah,
and
true.
we've seen that they're both capable of it multiple times.
Have you discussed the rumour that McLaren are bringing a completely new car to Spain? Yep. Johnson's been doing some digging. Apparently, they might be doing like a full proper car reveal type thing. So
that's what they're naming it. Then they're not saying they're bringing a B-Spec car. They're not saying they're running a B-Spec. They're saying they're revealing their B-Spec. It's probably just playing up to the media, but
yeah. Would you like to see F1 racing in London, says Ben McCarthy. I would love to, but that is just never going to happen. If you've ever been to London, you'll totally understand why. It's gridlock at the best of times. They can't go closing half of London off for 3 months of the year.
I would like them to go to London because it'd be easier for me to go to that race. But yeah, I don't see it happening because how are you going to organise that for 3 days?
Yeah, it's. You watch the news reports on May the 19th about traffic in London because they've got the royal wedding and the FA Cup final. Now you think about what that's going to be like
Oh my god.
with half the city closed off for an F1 race. It just won't happen. But since someone's mentioned, Luke mentioned about the Formula E going to Birmingham, I wonder if that might be a little pre-test to see if it would be viable for F1, considering the Silverstone contract's up next year.
Yeah.
I literally only just thought of that.
No, it's a fair point. It's one to keep an eye on. So I think they do try a lot of stuff out with Formula E. For Formula One, definitely, for the future.
Yeah, and believe me, it was brilliant with Formula 3000 and Formula 3. So.
How much was it to get to F1 Live? It was entirely free, but keep an eye on your... I don't think they're doing... Well, I say I don't think they're doing one in London this year. They didn't actually announce it until the night before last year. So I think I found out at 6 p.m. and we shot off to London at 10 o'clock the next morning. So that's before I even had the channel, so I can't even justify that for any reason. I think, was it? No, it was July. No, it won't have been, no. But yeah, it was totally free. It was awesome. It was chaos, absolute chaos, but it was brilliant. Victor Fila says, oh, they better not shut half of Birmingham. I need to get to work somehow.
You don't need to worry too much because half of the old track doesn't exist anymore. There's shopping centres on it.
Go through it. Just saw a question I was going to answer then.
Ben McCarthy's?
Teku 96. Will Miami replace Baku? And if yes, should it with 2 out of 3 great races? They've been selling stuff off, haven't they, Baku, according to reports, John T, which worries me because that was crap in 2016, but brilliant last year and pretty good this year as well.
Yeah, I mean, like I said on Sunday, I saw there was a lot of tweets coming out saying that bits were already being shipped off. I don't know how much truth there is to it, and it seems to have gone quiet since then, but it shouldn't replace it, no. Baku's been great the last 2 years.
Well, we were talking, Sean, weren't we, last night? And Baku has a contract for 2019. So is Baku giving their contract to Miami almost like a loan so then Miami can renegotiate a new one? Like, what's going on? Because Baku has a contract for next year and probably the year after as well.
I guess go on, John.
Sorry, I was going to say there will be buyout clauses, but I imagine they won't be cheap.
No, they won't be.
I was just going to say, it depends how far they want to take the calendar. They're talking 24 races, which I think is ridiculous. I think that's so stupid. Yeah, I don't want to see Baku go. I really don't. I after 2016, I'd have been happy to kick it off the calendar. But the last 2 years we've had, the drivers seem to love it as well, which is odd for the newer tracks. They don't tend to come out with too much praise. But yeah, I think it'd be a shame to lose it. Racing, have you been able to upgrade to Kellogg's yet? No, I haven't. All the money that comes in goes literally straight back into the channel, so I'm still on the Aldi bog standard own brand cornflakes. They are disgusting. But yeah, there you go. Apparently Baku has a contract until 2026, according to the Mighty Dash.
Well, there you go.
So they can't get out of that. That would be an expensive one to buy out, wouldn't it?
Very, very expensive.
Oliver asks, do you think Max Verstappen is making too many mistakes that he should not be making as a future world champion? Or making mistakes that he should not be making as a future world champion? I It's really I struggle with Verstappen, and I won't go too much into it, but Christian Horner often says he's young, he's inexperienced. He is young, he's very young, but this is his fifth year in Formula One, and there are other drivers that have been around in the sport as long who maybe haven't shown the talent he has, who people would be quite happy to boot out for some of the mistakes, if you know what I'm saying. But I think I can get on board with the age thing, but I can't get on board with the lack of experience.
I don't think he's any different to multiple other champions. There's so many other champions who've done as big, or if not bigger, mistakes.
Yeah.
But people tend to forget about them. It's because of the whole thing around Kvyat, which was harsh. Can't deny that Kvyat getting dropped that way was harsh and over the top. But it's because of that there's so much media attention on him now.
You have to remember as well. I mean, you've said it there. You know, Schumacher made a lot of mistakes when he was younger. In fact, did some stuff that won him a world championship, which, you know, and then tried it again a few years later. But he's still seen as one of the greats. Senna, you know, admitted that he deliberately took Prost out to win a world championship. I still think, and this will go down really, really well, particularly in the UK, but I still think Prost deliberately took him out the year before. But anyway, I think you look at Vettel was nicknamed the Crash Kid. Hamilton was criticised for his driving style, and we're talking there about 7 championships for Schumacher, 4 for Vettel and Hamilton, and 3 for Senna, and 4 for Prost. So I'm not saying that Verstappen's anywhere near them, because he may well one day be that way, but he's nowhere near there at the minute. But like you say, John T, there's been worse.
Yeah, exactly. James Hunt.
Yeah.
Hunt the Shunt, as he was known. And he did crash a hell of a lot. But people still loved him, and he still went on to become world champion.
I will say is, I think we have to remember he's only 20 years old. I mean, Lewis Hamilton wasn't even in F1 until he was 22. And if you're going to compare to current day F1 drivers, like, look at what Lewis Hamilton did in 2011. He crashed into Massa about 6 or 7 times, and that year is the reason he is now a 4-time world champion, because he learnt from that experience. So if this year is going to be similar for Verstappen, then hopefully he does something similar like Hamilton did, and he learns from it and, you know, becomes better over time. Because I've noticed, especially with some of the greats, is they will have that one year where it just doesn't fall for them.
The owner bar, sorry, I forget that wrong, said, did they ever push their teammates into walls? Yep. Schumacher, well, not his teammate. Schumacher gave it a good go with his ex-teammate, didn't he, in Hungary? And nobody gave him any stick for that, really, from what I remember.
Yeah, and if you go to Canada 2011,
yep,
look at Lewis at the back of Button. One of the dumbest things I've ever seen an F1 driver do. Trying to go through a decreasing gap when you can't see anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, that really was one of the stupidest things I've seen a driver try.
Ben McCarthy. I don't know if this is the question you were on about earlier, John. He says, what has been the most nail-biting experience you guys have experienced watching an F1 race? That's tough, because I've got 26, 27 years to rack in my brain. Jonty's got a little bit longer.
There's many options in different ways. Waiting for the green lights at Japan in 1990, when they still were green lights. That was... the tension then was insane. And then the whole thing lasted 12 seconds.
I'm a new F1 fan. I've only been watching F1 live for about 6.5, 7 years. I think Abu Dhabi 2016 was very tense for obvious reasons. It'd have to be a race from like 2012, honestly. I can't remember though, because there were so many races in that year which were very tense.
You're right on one there. I can't remember. It might have been Spain or Hungary. With Perez leading in the Sauber. And it was super tense and super quiet. And then his team came on the radio, and
no,
two corners later he spun.
That was Malaysia. He was
Malaysia.
catching Alonso like half a second a lap, and then he went off.
Yeah, that was his for the taking, and the team ruined it.
For me, I'm going to jump into my Schumacher fan days, and I've got two that I'm struggling with. Japan 98, watching him trying to come back through the field. But I think I'm going to go Japan 2000. He was cruising to that win for his first title since 95 and Ferrari's first for 3 million years. But I was biting my nails for every lap of that race. Up all night watching the race, absolutely crapping myself that it was all going to go wrong again, and he did it. So one of my happier emotional days as well.
I'd probably, thinking about it, I'm going to say Brazil 2012, because
that's a great race.
Of Vettel, at the time when he crashed, I thought instantly he's out of the race. And then Alonso passed his teammate and Webber into turn one, and he was up to like third or something. And I was like, well, Alonso's won the title, but then Vettel, I think like 20 laps in, was back up to like eighth or something. And yeah, those last 20, 30 laps were very, very tense, because basically just trying to cruise home with a damaged car, and Alonso was trying his best to catch, I think it was Button in the lead. And they're all trying to like hang on, stay on the racetrack. So yeah, I'd probably say that.
I actually just had a message telling you to go to try and find some old races to watch. You should watch as much as you can, because some of the old ones are ridiculous.
Well, I've heard that, I don't know if it was just rumour, I was watching something on social media yesterday, that the archive races might be available for the UK on F1 TV. So I don't think it'll happen. I think that is just somebody probably stirring rumours for the sake of it, but that would be awesome. But they're available everywhere, aren't they, John T, if you know where to look?
Yeah, they are. Oh, that's a good idea, Haley. I might look into that. Just on that topic, yeah, would you ever host a private live stream of classic races? Yeah, I could do that, because I've got 190 gigabytes worth of stuff on my computer.
I have watched classic races. It's different though, isn't it? Watching it 5 years later for the first time than watching it live. Like, the best race I've seen is Suzuka 2005, but I watched it for the first time like 8 years after the race. If I'd watched it live, I would have thought it was the greatest thing ever seen on this planet.
No, that's the problem. Finding ones that you don't know the results for.
Yeah.
Aero Orange has sent a contribution. Thank you very much, mate. He says, go Sean, well done for 30k. Here's some money for a Mars bar. Thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate that. I think Vlogging's asking if the money's reached you, but I've not. I don't know if he's made another one, not since your Dubai comment, mate. And I will say, I'm not going to get too moany today, because I can't really bother, because it's supposed to be nice and light-hearted. But for anybody in chat that's sending hate, just go away. We're here for answering questions, We're doing the stream for you guys, so yeah, just get over yourself, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, the dumbest move ever was Seb running into Lewis under safety car for an alleged brake check. Which one? Well, they went into back of Webber, didn't they? In Fuji? It's one I'm thinking of. I think you're talking about Baku last year, but yeah.
Yeah, it's one of them.
One of many.
That's one of many stupid moves, not one of many stupid moves by Vettel before I accuse
No.
you of any hate. Last year, Baku, yeah, I thought it was. Yeah, it's. I did see one interesting question. Was it Victor Philo? What are your favourite loopholes in the regulations designers have used on cars throughout the years? I know it's cliche and lots of people say it, but it's got to be the BT46. The fan car.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was genius.
Can we class the Tyrrell as a loophole. I can imagine them sat there going, well, it didn't say it could only have 4 wheels. Maybe that's a loophole somewhere.
It is. No, it was a definite loophole. It was after that where the rules specified wheels numbering no more than 4. But it looked a bit weird.
Just trying to think. We've had some really weird stuff. Some really weird stuff. Those, I call them winglets, but they were called winglets at the time, but I don't know what people call them now. The ones that are always on the side pods, the really high ones.
Yeah.
They were insane. That stupid thing on the front of the arrows.
Oh, that was horrific. And there was a Lotus. I think it was a Lotus, possibly the 82 or something. It didn't get used. It had 2 chassis.
X-Wings. Thank you very much, guys. Yes,
Yeah,
that's what I was trying to think of. Contribution from Jonathan Alvarado. Thank you very much for that, mate. Really appreciate it. Goes a long way to helping things out over here. So I did see a question I was going to throw out. We'll do a few more and then we'll be calling. I don't want to do more than an hour because I can imagine it gets a bit repetitive to watch. We'll go with Charles. Nozerb says, where and when do you think Charles Leclerc will win his first race if he does? Yeah.
Way too early to tell.
I was trying to think back to his F2.
Bahrain.
He was strong there.
And if he gets in a Ferrari, it's strong around there as well.
If I were picking, I'd want Monaco because I think for him to win his home Grand Prix and that be his first ever win would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
A Simbomb says, what was the most unexpected race win in F1 you can remember? I'll let you start with that one, John T. We'll have another scroll.
I've got to say, Monaco 96. Panis. It wasn't so much the win that was unexpected. It was every single other top running driver all crashing out or having problems or having failures leading to 3 cars finishing.
I'd probably say Nürburgring 99 with Johnny Herbert. Because if you go back and watch that race, the amount of leaders that had problems, I think Hakkinen pitted for wets and it wasn't wet. Frentzen broke down as soon as he came out the pits. Coulthard went off. Ralf Schumacher, everyone just went off, which allowed Herbert, who I think started like 14th or something, came through and won the race. So I'd probably say that because of the amount of runners that had to retire or crash into a wall for him to get that.
It might be a weird one, but then I'm quite weird anyway. I'd probably say Barrichello in Germany, 2000, 18th on the grid. Never expected him to win that race. Obviously, then what happened to his teammate in turn 1, that big crash. That was quite surprising. Obviously, he was going to win a race. Everyone expected him to win eventually in a Ferrari, but I would say, yeah, just because of where he came from.
Yeah, he started 18th on the grid.
Contribution from Lude. I hope I've got that right. Hopefully Red Bull can challenge this year. I'd like to. I'd like a 3-team challenge at the front. Well, I'd like a 10-team challenge at the front. But if we can get a 3-car challenge, that would be brilliant. Thank you very much for your contribution as well. That is awesome. We'll take a couple more then. Let's have a look what we've got.
Can I pick one out?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. How's this, Ben McCarthy? How's the circuit of Barcelona, Catalonia lost its taste due to the final sector being changed? I don't think it's the final sector. I think it's the resurfacing. Even though they did all the testing there, I'm not sure people know what to expect on the tyres.
Yeah. I don't like that final sector. I really don't. Just that's all I'm saying. That is, I don't like that one at all.
I'd prefer the old one.
Yeah.
Because it was challenging, wasn't it? You go for all those, little twisty corners, and then you get to that where it's try and keep the throttle on as much as possible, and it was great to watch. So Yeah, I miss it.
I was having to scroll back through the chat to see if there's any that we've... Obviously, apologies to anyone that's asking questions and we can't get to them. Obviously, we're getting quite a few, so it's difficult. And chat seems to scroll like crazy whenever we stream, so it's quite difficult to keep up sometimes. So we'll try our best, just making sure I've got... Thanks for the contribution. Victor as well, he says, thanks for the content. Keep up the great work. We will certainly try our best, mate. Yeah. How big a gain can McLaren really gain from the new update, asks Neil.
Probably to be the best of the rest. That's probably the best they can hope for.
Yeah, they need to be gaining at least half a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be as much as I don't know. I think because we've been promised so much from McLaren over the last couple of years, it's kind of difficult to get too excited about this one. I'd love them to, not in any kind of biased way, just another team up there scrapping for odd podiums and top end points would be brilliant. But I'm not getting too excited about it just yet. Who has been the biggest surprise this season so far? Asks Easy Name, team and driver. I think Sauber have been quite a surprise this year. I think that's a pretty reasonable thing to say. But in terms of driver, I'm going to say tie it with the two Finns, Raikkonen and Bottas.
I'd go surprising team. I'd go Sauber, but surprising driver. I'd go Kevin Magnussen, because I thought the person from Haas that would be getting the best results would be Grosjean by quite a distance. I didn't think it'd be Magnussen. So, yeah, he's doing good, and I'm happy to see that because I wanted to see him improve on last year, which was very hit and miss.
I've got some donations coming through. Craig Dunbar donated £5 through Super Chat, and he says, please buy some proper cornflakes. I will do, mate. Thank you very much. And ST as well, he made a contribution. He just said GG. Yeah, we love ST.
With them.
I can't. Oh, you mean this? I just thought, is that one of those jaunty ones there? Yeah. Katie says, I've decided that I'll only be watching the videos. These live streams make me sad. My questions go unnoticed. Honestly, just scrolling back through, I've not seen... I don't know if mods have been deleting anything, or I've not got anything... If you've seen anything, Jonty, from Katie at all.
I'm looking because I feel bad.
Yeah, I do, but I can't see... anything.
The problem is it only scrolled back so far.
Yeah, that's a... pop another one in, Katie, and we'll try and spot it. I'll keep Chaz and Jonty and Eru and that lot will be on Katie Spotter. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. No, Craig, predictions for Spain will probably come in the Spain preview video tomorrow, Friday?
Tomorrow. Nice plug, Jonty. Very good. We'll have to get you some crunchy nuts for that. Poggy Bear, who do you think will be the next team to leave F1? I'd say Force India. I hope not, but at the moment, the way things are, probably Force India because of their finances. But obviously, if Mercedes do look at this B team idea...
As it stands, Williams.
Yeah, it's sad, but it's true. They're just not making any progress, and they've got two paid drivers in there, and they're still claiming that they've got no money. So, yeah, they're not going anywhere other than out of F1.
TK, another lad who has, I think it's fair to say, pretty much been here since day one. The early days. Thanks for your continued support, mate, and thank you so much for that donation as well. It really does mean a lot. Yeah. I think we'll take one more, and then it's getting warm in here. I think PC's going to blow up. We'll do that one from Vlogging at Charlie first. Another contribution. What do you say to this? F1 is not a sport. I say it's rubbish.
Oh, it's a tricky one.
It's a bit of both for me. It's sport, but it's also entertainment.
It's sport on track, but everything around it needs to be entertainment, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Oh, off track, it's a soap opera, to be honest. But on track, I think half sport, half exhibition.
For the drivers, it's sport, isn't it? Definitely.
Yeah.
ST makes a great point. If chess is classed as a sport, then it's definitely a sport. It's a very good point. One more. Let's have one more. I think. Yeah, we'll go with that one because it can. Yeah. I've got to try to say the name now. From Amin. If I said that wrong, I'm so sorry. Who are your favourite young F1 drivers and why? I'm going to stretch that a little bit to up and coming because, yeah, I like to do that, make it more difficult. There are so many. It is a difficult question to end on because there are so many. We talk about them all the time. In terms of talent, I think, and not because they're British, but George Russell and Lando Norris deserve a good shout out there. I am going to throw some bias in there and say NR Mahmed because he's the only one that's done an interview for us so far. He was the first one, so there you go. If he ever gets to F1, I'm screwed. Simple as that. But yeah, so many. Can we class Markelov as a young driver?
No.
No, you can't.
How old is he?
He must be like 24 or something like that.
That's younger than me. He's a young driver. I quite like Nick de Vries as well, I'll be honest. I quite like him.
Yeah, the younger ones who are kind of moving up. Well, maybe not younger, but moving up recently. Arjun Maney. And if you want to go quite a bit younger, one wants to watch is Jamie Chadwick.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, she's pulling out some surprising results.
I'd say Norris is the one I'm excited about, but one I am surprised with and I want to see do well is Sete Camara. I didn't think he would do that well, but he's really surprised me.
Oh, Sete Camara's
Yeah.
defensive move at the end of the Bahrain race was amazing.
Yeah.
Just say I'm basing my ones on talent, not personality, because most drivers are arseholes. So, yeah, don't forget as well, jam-packed this weekend. Can't wait. We've got Euro F3, F2, GP3 and F1. Do me nicely that will, Jonty, definitely.
Yeah, and I'll be watching all the stuff as well in the meantime.
That'll be brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I think we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for joining me for this one, Chaz and Jonty. And of course, just thank you for everything over the last, 10.5 months? We're getting on towards a year. We need to do something good for the birthday special. But yeah, it's been incredible. It's been a hell of an experience. I can't wait to see what the rest of the year and 12 months from now will be like. But I really do appreciate everything you've done to help out Chaz and you as well, Jonty. Everything you do on stream, off stream, when I'm moaning, when you need to rein me in because I'm being a twat, quite frankly. I really do appreciate it, mate. It's awesome.
No worries. It's fun to be a venting bucket.
It's basically what you are, yeah, to be fair. It's like, fuck off about work. Language, Sean, terrible.
Say thank you to Vlogging at Charlie with insisting on this. I'm wondering if that's Charlie Whiting.
It could be. It could. Yeah. Yeah, big shout out to everyone who's donated tonight as well. Really does mean a lot, but thank you very much, guys. I will talk to you inevitably in a bit.
Thanks for having me on, and also thanks for having me on the streams ever since, was it Abu Dhabi, wasn't it?
It was around there, yeah.
Yeah, so thanks for having me on since then. I've really enjoyed it.
No worries, mate.
Bye, folks.
Bye.
See you later, guys. Yeah, thank you to both of those. And of course, it goes without saying, thank you to everybody watching. It's an obvious statement to make, but I would literally be absolutely nowhere without you guys. Yes, I said guys again. No, I don't care. it's just incredible. 30k beyond anything I ever expected, and to do it this quickly is just brilliant. So here is to the rest of this year. Silverstone as well, going to be there. So if you are going to Silverstone, let me know nearer the time, and I will be doing a bit of a meet up there to meet some of you to say thanks in person, because I really do appreciate it. That's something you're going to hear a lot, is thanks and appreciate over the next few days. But yeah, I will be back, of course, tomorrow with the Spanish Grand Prix preview. If we get any news on Miami, keep an eye on Twitter, because I will pop it on there. Obviously, the qualifying report on Saturday, live tweeting during practice and some of the other races we've got this weekend as well. And of course, we will be live for at least the race debrief after the Grand Prix on Sunday. There could be something else, but we're not 100% yet. I haven't actually discussed it with anybody yet, which is just the way I do things. But yeah. Once again, thank you very much for everything. In the meantime, you can follow me on social media. Links to Facebook, Twitter, Discord, and to Instagram are all in the description down below. No more social media, please, because that's 4 as it is, and videos are getting longer and longer because of it. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean. This has been the F1 Word. And until next time, thank you and goodbye.